Hey, what's up guys? I'm Raphael. So I'm swapping a 1995 Subaru Legacy engine, the EJ22, into my Subaru Brat that's 1986. I'm trying to do it CARB legal and have it have the car switched over, like the Brat switched over to a Legacy for smog purposes because it still has to get smog because it's after 1975. And I want the power as well. So it involved basically changing everything in terms of the driveline, and I got to the point where I had to have this conversation with the California Air Resource Board. So the way it goes is that you have a phone conversation first. They ask you a bunch of questions to make sure you did the swap appropriately, and then after that they request some information like pictures, and then you have to bring it in. So it saves a lot of time because in the past you had to go in and then fail immediately because you didn't do it right, and then come back and repeat the process. But this is much faster. So to prepare for this phone call, well, first off, I made sure I did the swap as appropriately as I could have. That includes like looking up the rules that they wrote in their website, and also asking. I asked AI. AI is actually a really useful tool because you can actually AI will actually talk you through what you need, which is kind of amazing. It's just drawing all that information and putting it in a condensed way for you to digest. So after I made sure I did the swap appropriately, I gathered information because the idea is that you want to be able to get ahead of any questions that they're going to ask. So have your VIN numbers for both cars ready, have like your vehicle emissions control information ready to go, be ready to speak on any emissions controls that should be on your car that you're swapping into, and be able to say it's there. So that's kind of what I did in this case as best I could, but you never know if they're going to throw like a curveball at you. And in this case, our curveball was he questioned if the transmission was the same transmission, essentially the same driveline, engine back, from the Subaru Legacy to the Subaru Brat. But back then, the Subaru Brat didn't have. Subarus didn't have all-wheel drive; they're actually four-wheel drive. So he's going to ask his boss about it, but. Hopefully that's not going to be an issue because officially on the bar website it doesn't really speak to like transmission, but you never know. It's just going to get more and more strict. The other thing that he didn't ask about, thankfully, was the gas tank, because I didn't switch out the gas tank or the fuel pump from the 1995 Legacy into the Brat. So, but from what I understand is that it's more advisable to switch over the gas tank as well. So it may be an issue down the line, but as of this phone call, it wasn't really an issue.
So not required, but advisable?
Not required, but advisable. And I feel like a lot of this stuff also, I mean, there's so many different cars, and people do things so many different ways. It kind of depends on what your inspector asks, you know what I mean? So you can just get like a kind of stick up the butt inspector, you know. Hopefully they're super cool. I think if you make their job easier, they're super cool, you know. That's the whole like getting ahead of their questions idea. But you really never know. It could be like a ton of work, a ton of money, and then they could just say no, and then you have to do like this huge modification where you swap in a gas tank and a fuel pump. But then again, if you've gotten to this far, you already spent a lot of time and money into your shitty car. So then what's like a month more of work and getting some gasoline spilled on yourself, possibly getting smashed by your car while you're laying down under it. So yeah, so our next step right now, so the phone call went well. The next step is going to be, he requested a bunch of pictures basically of essentially everything we did, and then he's going to talk us through and double check and make sure everything was fine. He also requested a pre-smog check just to make sure that the car is actually passing smog through the tailpipe. So once that's submitted, then he gives me the green light for a physical referee inspection, and after that it's going to be hopefully smogged as a 1995 Subaru Legacy. And we have a little bit of a time crunch because my registration is due in November, and right now it's mid-October, so we'll see if we can get it done in time.
I didn't know that was a real time crunch. I thought you mentioned that to him because like you're trying to gauge how long you think it'll take.
Like I lied to him?
Yeah, like no, not. I mean, I really think the registration is up, but I think you use that as a reason to kind of gauge how long does this process take.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That's what I thought.
No, a little bit of both. Yeah. So kind of. I mean, he doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, but maybe imply that I have a sense of urgency, and then if he responds to that, then maybe that's a good sign for you. You know what I mean?
Well, and I think in general, like just not being an asshole, right?
Oh, yeah,
I think
yeah.
that helps a lot.
Totally.
It probably goes a long way because I'm
Totally.
sure he gets
Yeah.
terrible calls
Oh my
all
gosh,
day.
yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, you kind of know what they're gonna ask already, you know. So don't act like a dummy and not have it ready to go, you know. And then just be super duper fucking nice, and then, I mean, that's all really the control you have, and then it's really up to him. If he's having a bad day, he could fuck me up, you know what I mean. But today was nice, so yeah.
All right, cool. Well, we'll see what happens next.
Hey-oh.
All right.